into our life. It's refreshing. But more importantly, our bodies can't function without that precious liquid. With our bodies being more than 60% water and our brain even being more, it is essential that we have at all times that life-giving source, water. Even more important than food is water. But it's a critical life-giving force, one of which we will not be able to survive without unless we get it. Now, FEMA suggests 1 gallon per person per day and have about 2 weeks full of it. My suggestion, store what you can, store as much as you can. If you have dehydrated foods, you're going to need more. If you need to do sanitation, which we all will have to do, you'll need more. So my guideline would be store 1.5 gallons minimum to do 2 gallons per person per day and store as much as you can. Now obviously, to be able to store large quantities, you've got to be creative, but you've already cleaned out your house, right? You went to the nudge, you got rid of your excess, you've got all this space now. But I'm also going to teach you some other storage tips. One of them is my favorite, and it's right here. Have you ever seen these little extensions that you put underneath the legs of your beds, and it raises the bed, giving you a chance to put water and food underneath? You can find those at home improvement stores, and I think you will be surprised how much you can get underneath. You need to store water in 3 different ways. One is high quantities of water that take up low amount of space. Another is portable water, and another is mini portable water, such as these little 4-ounce pouches or bottled water that you'll put in your 72-hour kits. You know what's so interesting? Just yesterday on the news, 2 cities in my area are now on a boil only because of E. coli in their system. We may think that we have incredible water sources right now, and why should we worry about it? But even just yesterday, 2 cities no longer can use their water source. If you have a chance to use filtration water in your home right now, I would encourage you to. Another way is the water coolers, where they deliver those large bottles to you. Not only do you have clean filtered water, but you can get an abundant backstock of it, and that's also a portable way. Another way that I found to get large quantities though, and let's talk about that for a second, I just found this new find which worked for me. It was a little bit expensive, but I needed a small footprint. In the same space that 1.5 of the 55 gallons take, this will house 320 gallons. It's 29 inches, it's kind of an oval on this, so you can get it through the door, but then you can also double stack. They're 44 inches each, so you can have enough space to lift up, but also put some pallets underneath and still stay under an 8-foot ceiling. So how do you store your water? A couple of different things that we do, and I'm going to have you watch this video.
To preserve a 55-gallon barrel, you have to put 5.5 teaspoons of bleach or sodium hypochlorite to keep out any heat that might bring in bacteria or microorganisms. You usually use a food-grade hose so that your water is clear and more preserved.
There's no excuses because it only takes 8 minutes for a 55-gallon.
So as you can see, educate your kids on how to store your water. Educate them and let them help you do it. Now another thing that I really like is the boxed water. And I got my own little kit. You got a box, it comes with a Mylar, the spout so that you can dispense it, and then a way to tape it. The only difference is I did duct tape mine in addition to that. But we had a little competition to see how fast we could do them. We got a little wild and crazy, but we had a good time while we were preparing for water storage. Some other favorites for water storage for me are the collapsible containers that you should fill up first and put by your 72-hour kits for a grab and go. But I also like that it's compact and can be tucked away so if you have to go find water sources. And we'll be talking about water purification in a separate video. I also like the backpacks, 72-hour ones that you can buy that have the bladder that you can put actually in the backpack. And of course we talked about if you have any of the Camelbacks, those are really nice, especially for little tiny kids. They can at least carry some of the water with them even though they can't carry a heavy 72-hour kit. I also like having on hand an extraction pump. These are very inexpensive. They come in lots of different sizes. This is the 36-inch. That goes down in the 55-gallon tank for easy extraction if you don't want to get one of these. Also, this has a little filter in it too. So not only are you extracting, but you're filtering. But I also like the just a little siphon hose that you can siphon any size. So make sure you've got something to be able to extract your water out of these large barrels. Another thing I would encourage you to do, if you have Camelbacks, even though you may have a backpack 72-hour kit, but fill up your Camelbacks and have them ready to go anywhere you are. You may have the big igloo coolers that you use for camping. Instead of storing those empty, store them with water right now for the just in case. Utilize anything you can. Now you might be saying, hey, you know, those 55 gallons and all those things seem a little expensive. Just remember, old pop bottles are a great way. Use the formula that I have down below in preserving these waters. There's lots of different things you can purchase. You can purchase water preservers. This I like just because if you put this in a 55-gallon tank, you can preserve your water for 5 years. But if not, go back to the formula of 1/8 teaspoon per gallon of sodium hydrochlorite or bleach without fragrance. And why do you put that in there? Well, there's microorganisms that can be on the inside of containers, especially ones that maybe have been used for pop or fruit products. Never use a milk jug at all because of the enzymes in the milk. When you're using water that has had bleach in it, you do need to leave it in an open container for about 30 minutes so that the chlorine can kind of dissipate. Also, when you're using stored water of any kind, you may notice that it has kind of a flat taste. It isn't the same thing as when you usually drink it, but that's because it hasn't been aerated. And you can take care of that by simply passing it back and forth from one container to another, and that'll add a little bit more air into it. Some people choose to have beverages or fruit drinks, something that they can add to it to kind of camouflage the flat taste. So whatever your preference is, I just love having water. Well, okay, so what is your job this week? First of all, go out there and store as much water as you can. If you have not purged, go back to the nudge, get rid of everything you can, stir up that great energy in your home, but store as much as you can. Don't just think a week or two is enough. If you only have that space, that's great. Do at least that. You won't be sorry if you store a ton of water. I would rather walk away from hundreds of gallons of water than to know that I have nothing and within a short amount of time my family's bodies are going to shut down. Water, it's critical. Store it.